Today I want to share with you a 2020 channel update about all the great things that you can look forward to seeing here in the coming year. Hi sweet friends, I'm Mary and welcome to Mary's Nest, where I teach traditional cooking skills for making nutrient-dense foods like bone broth, ferments, sourdough, and more. So if you enjoy learning about those things, consider subscribing to my channel and don't forget to click on the little notification bell below. That'll let you know every time I upload a new video. First and foremost, I want to thank all of you for joining me on this traditional foods journey. I'm so humbled that you've allowed me to come into your lives, and I love each and every one of you so much. And I want to thank you all for the loving and kind comments that you leave for me on my videos, and the lovely emails that you send me from my website. And I want to thank you all so much for the cards and letters that you sent me over this Christmas holiday. All of them really touch my heart. It's been such a delight to get to know so many of you, and I couldn't ask for a better group of folks to be on this traditional foods journey with. And speaking of traditional foods, I've got a lot of wonderful videos planned for this year, this new year, 2020, which is also the beginning of a new decade. Now last year, we spent a lot of time going over mastering the basics of traditional nutrient-dense foods cooking. As I've shared with you many times, I love this book, Nourishing Traditions by Sally Fallon. And little by little, over the last year, I've worked through sharing with you some of the recipes for making bone broth and making cultured dairy and ferments and sourdough starter and sourdough breads and soaking and sprouting grains and so on and so forth. And I still have some more basics to share with you, but for the most part, now that we've mastered the basics, we're going to spend this year incorporating everything that we've learned into preparing wonderful, flavorful meals for ourselves, our families, and our friends. There'll be lots to learn, even for those of us who are experienced traditional foods home cooks. But most important, I want to be here and be a support for those of you who are making the transition from a processed foods kitchen to a traditional foods kitchen. I've received so many emails from so many of you saying that you can feel very overwhelmed when it comes from making that transition from the processed foods kitchen to the traditional foods kitchen, and that it can be very difficult as you're making that transition to get your family on board to liking these traditional foods. And that's why my goal is to help you make this transition easy and to also make these traditional foods taste familiar so that they taste familiar to your family. And not only that they taste familiar, but that they taste better. And in making the transition to traditional foods, not only do I want to help you make the foods taste familiar, I want to show you how to make it easy to make that transition. It's okay in the beginning, if you're used to buying fast food, that your next step is maybe buying a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store or from one of the big box stores. And then eventually, when you become comfortable with that and your family is enjoying eating that rotisserie chicken, to then start making your own roast chicken. So I want you to know that you can move at your own pace, implementing traditional foods little by little as you feel comfortable doing it. And I'm going to walk you through slowly, step by step, and I'm not going to judge you. Even if you're buying prepared real foods at the grocery store, that's better than fast food. So implement these strategies little by little as you feel comfortable, as time permits, and before you know it, you're going to have a full-blown traditional foods kitchen. Now, I also want to remind you, especially for those of you who are new, in addition to my YouTube channel, I have a website, and it's marysnest.com, and I always put the link in the description under each of my videos. And I put a link that goes directly to the recipe and instructions that's related to the video that you're watching. And at my website, you can print out the recipe and the instructions, and then you can start to kind of put together your own traditional foods cookbook. Now, pretty much every video has an accompanying recipe, although there were a few that I didn't get a chance to actually put a written recipe together. So if you come across one of those, let me know, because I'm going through my website and updating it when I have a chance. And if there's a specific recipe that you're looking for and it's not already on my website, let me know, send me an email or leave it in the comments, and I will be sure to put that at the top of my list for updating. And as you print out recipes and start to collect them, what I like to do is put them in these like clear little sheet protectors, and then I add them to my kitchen journal. And I'm going to be doing a whole video on my kitchen journal. I highly recommend that if you're on this traditional foods journey, starting a kitchen journal is a really good idea. You can start to keep track of the meals that you enjoy, that your family and friends enjoy. You can start compiling and print, when you print out the recipes that you like, you can, from my website or other websites, you can start compiling them into your kitchen journal. You can add information about cuts of meat. You can add information about shopping for fish, various information on when foods are in season. All of these things are what you can put in your kitchen journal. And as I said, I'll do a whole video on that, and we'll go through everything that I keep in my kitchen journal. So hopefully if you're watching this video, you're subscribed to my channel. But if not, be sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you'll be notified when I do the video about my kitchen journal and all of my videos. And I also want to mention that I do my best to answer all the comments that come across my videos, and I also do my best to answer all the emails that you send me. I do fall a little behind sometimes, so thank you so much for your patience, but I really do try to answer everything. And I'm finding now at this point, I'm getting a lot of repeat questions in both comments and emails. So over time, I hope to put together sort of a Q&A page on my website that'll hopefully help many of you as well. But one question that I want to answer here today that I get a lot, because I have a lot of videos on making bone broth, and that question is, where do I get my bones? I buy my bones from different sources. I try to find them locally, maybe at the farmer's market or at a specialty grocery store, but my favorite place to buy bones is from U.S. Wellness Meats. Their oxtails are especially out of this world, but all of their bones are wonderful, and they come from cattle that's grass-fed, and they also sell steaks and chicken feet and pretty much anything that you can think of that you would need in the meat department for the traditional foods kitchen. And be sure to check the description underneath my video, because I have a 15% off coupon code if you decide to order from U.S. Wellness Meats. And you can also find that information on the shopping guide tab over on my website. And there's also a lot of other discount codes and whatnot over there as well. And I have a nice little bit of information to share with you that I was selected by U.S. Wellness Meats as their 2019 December featured chef. And they've got 4 of my recipes over on their website that link to my videos. And they also interviewed me and had me answer a number of questions that were a lot of fun. And I'll be sure to put a link in the description below so that you can go head over there and check that out. And speaking of features, I wanted to let those of you who live in Texas know that if you get the AAA Texas Journey magazine, they featured me in their January-February 2020 issue. And there's a pull-out recipe card for my beef bone broth and a nice little article about me. So I was very honored that they featured me in their magazine. And I also want to mention again, if you're over at my website and you're printing out a recipe, if you go to the home page and you scroll down to the bottom, there'll be an opportunity there where you can join our traditional foods community. And basically what that means is that you'll receive periodic emails from me. And don't worry, I don't inundate you with emails, but you'll receive periodic emails from me updating you on the videos and recipes that I've released and other interesting information regarding traditional foods. And while you're over at my website, you can also email me with any questions or comments that you have. And I do keep track of everything. So I've got all your emails here, and I'm compiling a lot of information from them. as to going into planning my videos for this year. So I will be answering a lot of those questions, and I will be making videos about a lot of the subjects that you've asked me for. More updates on making homemade extracts, more information on sourdough bread, more information on ferments, and more information on baking with sprouted flour. We'll definitely be covering all of it. So with this new year comes new opportunities. If you've just been making bone broth, or you've just been doing ferments, or you've been experimenting with sourdough or cultured dairy, now is your opportunity to branch out and move on and try other things so that you can begin to expand your traditional foods kitchen. And I want to thank you all again for joining me on this traditional foods journey. I'm so excited about everything that we're going to be doing this year. And now as you branch out, be sure to click on this playlist where I go over all the mastering of the basics of traditional nutrient-dense foods cooking. And I'll see you over there in my Texas Hill Country kitchen. Love and God bless.